So great to be joined by the UFC Women's Flyweight Champion, Valentina Shevchenko. Of course, is going to be defending her title coming up here at UFC 266 on September 25th. Valentina, how are you this afternoon?
Doing great. Training camp going great. Very strong trainings. So yeah, feeling amazing, feeling strong, and just 2 more weeks.
Yes, it's coming up pretty quickly. I wanted to start first with, I know the last time we spoke, you wanted to do a bit of traveling for the rest of the summer. How did that all go? And where did you end up going? It seemed like you went all over the US.
Oh, it was amazing. Our recent travel, it was travel by boat. So we travel in Puget Sound. We was boating like all Puget Sound, starting from the way up south. We started to Olympia, Tacoma, Seattle, Port Ludlow, Port Townsend. We just like explore all the area around, and it's so amazing because it's kind of like you actually living on board, you're sleeping on the boat, you're waking up in the marinas, and it's amazing. You are learning to deal with your boat, how to fix like little issues. You have to know about your engine, how it works, because like in the middle of the sea you have to know how to fix some like little detail, and it's kind of like so much to learn, so much to explore, and it's kind of like a lifetime experience, and I enjoy. And actually my training camp, we started on the boat in Puget Sound. We driving from one port to other port, then staying overnight or for like few days there, finding a place to train, a gym, local gym, and like finding some people there to have training partner. And was my beginning of the training camp.
Very interesting. I'm actually not that far away from there. I live in Vancouver, Canada, just across the border. So I know it's a beautiful area out there. Was that your first time experiencing the Pacific Northwest?
At the by boat, yes, but I would say a year ago we did our first travel. It was by car with our truck. So we drew from Las Vegas. We drew to Lake Tahoe, then from San Francisco, and took Highway 1 all the way up by coast, by Pacific coast, and then going like to Seattle, exploring that area, driving toward Canada, and but at that time the border already was closed and we could not pass to Canada. But this time when we traveled by boat, we also went to the like very last port, and just next one is just Canada. So we were very close.
Yes, next time you got to go. It's similar weather, similar climate, and a lot of mountains out here as well. Not that I'm a tour guide, but I do vouch for it. I do live here. I love it. So it's great. I saw you caught a couple fish. How was that? It seemed like you got a couple big ones.
Oh, we caught not just a couple fish, we caught a lot.
That's good.
Salmons, and we it's amazing fishing. And actually it was about a month ago, so it's kind of like season fishing season, salmon fishing. So we got king salmon, pink salmon, everything. And the most amazing, we could cook right there. We have like portable cooktop, and we just was cooking everywhere there on the nature. And it's like in the boat also, and it's amazing when you like catching your own food like fish and prepare it. It's so fresh, it's so nice, it's like very rich in like nutrition. So it's kind of like the what I really like about traveling.
Good. Well, I'm glad it went really well. And of course, you have this fight coming against Lauren Murphy, which is something we sort of figured was going to happen after your last fight, and obviously Lauren winning her last fight as well. Now that it's here, how do you look at this fight from a style perspective? How's the preparation been going leading into Lauren Murphy?
I'm looking to all my fights the same time, the same type. It's like no difference. I prepare and very strong for every my opponent, so no exceptions. And this is the same what I'm doing, training very hard every single day, putting my like condition, physical, mental condition to the limit, just to be ready for anything. This is how I work. This is what I do for to defend my title, and this is like no exception, no one time.
Yeah. How is it, obviously you're someone that treats every opponent the same. It doesn't matter, what the odds are or anything like that. What keeps you motivated? Is it that, keeping the title defenses going? What keeps you going as a champion that, gives you that drive and that hunger to continue to win like the way you are?
same but different.
Okay.
Like, um, I thinking not about like treating my opponent like the same time. No, it's not about treating opponents the same. Like for like no, it's just how I am.
Yeah.
It's I know exactly to win the fight you have to be in the certain mood, right?
Mhm.
How would say certain have energy for the certain like things like fight mood or something like that, how you can call it.
Mhm.
And exactly I know what if I'm in this like energy line, everything gonna be good, and I am like yes, I am there where I have to be. But when you're starting to bring something else to your like preparation, or like thinking that okay it's easy, or no it's too hard and you have to train more, it's kind of like not good to think less,
Mhm.
not good to think more. So you have to find your like golden middle, right?
Yeah.
Because if you are thinking it's not it's not a big deal, then you don't have enough training, then you don't have enough like mental preparation. When you're starting to overthink about something, it's not good too, because you are putting yourself in very tense position, and you cannot do anything what you can do. So you have to manage what is the your like perfect shape, what is your I'm not speaking only for body, I'm speaking for mental condition as well. So and it's mostly not about opponents, it's mostly about yourself, inside how you feel, inside how you like preparing for the fight, what you know it's gonna be good and what you know it's gonna be bad. And I would say that my biggest motivation is like I was born in family of martial artists. I was growing up with this idea that anything what you do, you have to try to do it the best way. I was growing up with the idea like you have to put yourself every time to the limit. And once you have it, you have to hold it forever. And this is what it was in my mindset since, I don't know, since the beginning. It was forever with me. And I don't know. I just don't have to have this like kind of like extra motivation in things and or like something else, because being being martial artist, it's already huge motivation.
Mhm.
Fight in the UFC promotion, the biggest in the world promotion of mixed martial arts, it's already motivation. So if you don't have, if these things not motivate you, then what? Like I don't know. I don't see this is by itself. It's already sounds so big.
Yes. No, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at things. I was just curious because I know obviously you've had a lot of success, and I know sometimes for some champions, not you, but you can get stagnant a bit, and so that's good. The fire is still there with every fight.
I would, I would say also it's kind of like more experience you have, more you understand how the
Yeah.
world work, and it's like how everything, and like to be on the top, you have to work hard, and yes, I know many people they're speaking about pressure. That like yes, there is pressure. Even if you are not champion, there is pressure. Every fight, it's a
Mhm.
pressure.
Yeah.
Then better to have pressure where you're champion than not, right?
Yes. No, no, completely agree there. I was looking at your Instagram as far as your training camp. I know you've been doing the whole camp, well, most of the camp in Las Vegas. And I saw you've been working with Brandon Moreno. How has that been training with the UFC men's flyweight champion?
Oh, it's amazing. It's like kind of like pushing each other every single train to the limits and like giving the best. And it's when you are going to the training, not only okay, I have a training today, I gonna train, then rest and train again. No, it's actually um, you are actually like thinking about training to give better of you, and for like to have this like little tiny step more and more towards the best shape. And definitely it's kind of like to work with the best ones in the world, it's also affects you as well, so you are every time gonna like absorb more and more. And yeah, it's this is a good thing that we are like both giving to each other something else for the upcoming fights. And this is amazing. I think it's kind of like uh, um, not everywhere, not every person can have it, like actually like working, two champions working to each other like in the same division, like
It's great. Yeah, it's
it's
very,
kind.
and just the fact that Brandon's in Vegas as well, it just kind of worked out. How did you end up training with him? Like, did you speak to him? Did he speak to you? How did you guys end up training together?
Oh, it's kind of like when we came back from our travel and from the Washington State, and we started our training camp in Las Vegas because kind of like half of training camp we were Washington State starting, and the hardest part we can say we are here in Las Vegas, and we just start training, and everyone got like guys from Mexico, a lot of guys and girls there was training in the PI, and then it's kind of like we join our like groups together and just starting to train.
That's
Yeah.
great. And this is the first time you've trained with him, right? Like prior to a fight, or had you trained with him in the past?
Oh no, yes, this is the first training camp and first training with him.
And
Yes.
last thing on Brandon, how much positivity does he bring to your training? He's always smiling. I don't think I've ever seen Brandon Moreno upset about anything.
The different things about our training that mm, I would say, I mean, like in general, like when Pavel, our coach, training us, in general, you cannot see a lot of smiles during the training because each fighter, we are like so deep inside, focusing in our like training because it's many things you have to consider. You have to train good. You have to avoid injuries, and when you are like kind of like speaking, smiling around, it's kind of like it's different. You cannot to have this control, but in our training it's you can smile before or you can smile after, but inside the trainer it's kind of like, I don't know, I never saw anyone because we work like
Right.
non-stop. We start our training and then we have only when we finish training we just stop, but it's kind of like no rest, it's no rest every time, like go 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 go. And yeah, but yeah, the most amazing what I have, all my trainings partners, is they are amazing guys, and they are super nice, they are good to speak. And I'm speaking about not just Brendan, I'm speaking about every like person who are like helping me in my training camp. I have guys from Jason Andrade from Andrade Muay Thai. I have Derek. I have some guys from they came actually from Seattle, and yeah, having like training with us here. And it's kind of like when you are can deal with the person, you can speak normally when you don't have this like tension between each other. So it's amazing because you actually helping each other, and this is the most important what I look in every time when I working with someone. We have to have good like person relationship. It's number one for me because my what I am thinking, if no matter it's sport, it's business, it's whatever, if you are cannot find a good like relationship with a person, it's not gonna work. And even in business, like it doesn't matter about money, how this is this one, but if you are like not having this connection, it's not gonna
Yeah,
work.
no, completely understand that. Back to the fight with Lauren. How do you envision the fight playing out on September 25th? How do you see the fight playing out?
Oh, this is the interesting question every time. Every time it's so hard to answer for me
Mhm. Well, yeah, every fight's
because
different in terms of the outcome, right? I mean, we've seen all types of finishes from you in your career, right? So
before the every fight, everyone is asking the same question, and every time I cannot find an answer because I just like I'm not visualize it. It's like wasting your time, actually wasting time imagining, it's like a dreaming
mm,
something like that, but you have to do it, it's so real. You have to just go and work in the training about all possible
mm,
situation. This is only how you can prepare for the fight, and then you will decide inside of the fight what is better tactic because it's so many factors what can play. It's your opponent, number one factor, what is her style, what her strengths, what she wants from the fight, and the most important, how quickly you can adapt or switch or change anything that will help you to win.
There you go. I'll take that answer. That's, because again, every fight's different. Everything can happen. Let me ask you this, though. Lauren, like some of your other opponents, like Caitlin Chukagian and Jessica Ai, joins those fighters in the sense that she's never been finished in the UFC. If you were to finish Lauren, does that mean more to you, or is the win just the same to you if you win a dominant decision? How do you look at that if you were able to finish Lauren, because she is very durable?
Yeah, I never like focusing on these like small
Mm-hmm.
things. It's kind of like the number one what's important, defend the
Mm-hmm.
belt. And definitely what I want from the fight, when I see the finish, this is the finish and I can finish, I definitely will go for
Okay.
it. And this is, but if you say very right, it's every opponent is different. And like, to put something in front of you, it's like, oh, I have to finish her like in the second round, in the first round. It's kind of like put you in a box. It's putting you in a box, putting unnecessary pressure on you that you don't have to have. As a fighter, you actually don't have to fight to have. And I just go there and perform myself the best way. And I know exactly if I perform myself in the best what I can, so I can do anything. I can finish, I can knock down, knock out, and like I just know that the most important is the best performance ever.
There's another big fight on your card in your division. Jessica Andrade, someone you fought last, is taking on Cynthia Calvillo. Just your thoughts on that matchup and how that fight could potentially play out. I know, again, anything can happen in a fight, but I think it's interesting that Cynthia's a very, very, very tough opponent, and Jessica's got that power. You've been in there with her. How do you envision that fight playing out?
Oh, I think it's very interesting fight gonna be because like Cynthia, she's kind of like a lot of wrestler, and like Jessica, she's the same. She want to wrestle, but she also has this like super one punch knockout power. So I think it's a very interesting fight gonna be, and yeah, I see a lot of action from both girls and a lot of non-stop action during the fight.
Okay, but do you think Cynthia will? I think since Cynthia is the underdog in the fight, do you see Cynthia being able to defeat Andrade, or would you favor Andrade in that fight?
Oh, it's kind of like, when it's I would say when it's top level of
Mm-hmm.
competitors, it's so hard to predict
Mm-hmm.
something. Usually when people asking me about like prediction, it's and we are speaking about top level, no matter like man, woman, doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. And usually I choose fighters by personal
Right. Yes.
preferences.
Yeah. For sure.
Because it's hard to judge in MMA. I mean, like, oh, say, okay, he has more power here, there. Sometimes you can, but when it's top level, it's hard. It's very hard. So it's kind of like hard to answer for me for on this
Well,
question. It
I'll
can
throw
take.
this out there. So if Jessica wins, that's not a rematch that's going to happen anytime soon between the two of you. If Cynthia wins, that's a fresh matchup. I would imagine part of you would want Cynthia to win, just so then there's a clear cut opponent. I would think after your fight. Is that how you're looking at it, or do you think Cynthia would need another win even if she did defeat Jessica Andrade?
You are first like bringing up this question, and exactly I started to think it for very very first time
Okay,
right
there you
now.
go. Good. That's why I gotta think of these things. So that's good.
Because for me it's like I'm blocked right now. I'm blocked from
Mhm.
everything right now. In front of me just one
Mhm.
target, and it's Lauren, and it's like no else besides this fight. I'm not like having plans what I'm gonna do after the fight, what I'm gonna do before, whatever. I'm not this type of the person. I'm very strict what I need right now, what I need to do for this, and I just like step by step going closer to my target. And after this, I already start to think about anything
Okay,
else.
there you go. Well, if you're victorious, we can talk about it after the fight. So there you go. I did want to ask you, there's a bunch of things going on in the women's divisions. First and foremost, your friend Rose Namajunas is going to be defending her title against Weili Zhang. Were you surprised that they gave Weili a rematch after the way that fight ended, or were you expecting the UFC to give Weili Zhang the rematch?
Oh no, I didn't surprise. It kind of like was obvious that it's gonna be a rematch because the fight ended very soon, very like in the first minute of the fight, and definitely like people they could not see anything like too much action from Bailey. That's why they still want to see it, and it's kind of like this situation that fair, very fair to have this rematch, but I still think the result in the rematch will be the same.
And, just again, not looking too far ahead, I know the focus is on Lauren Murphy, but I mean, if Zhang loses this fight and Rose continues to be champion, she's probably not going to get another title shot, I wouldn't think, if you've defeated the same opponent twice. So then that opens up the possibility of Weili potentially moving up, I would think, because if you want to fight for a title, you're a fresh matchup, so to speak. I know she'd probably have to win a fight at 125, but I know there was talk maybe a year ago about you fighting Weili Zhang when she was the champion. Do you see that as a possibility down the line if she loses to Rose, because she might be forced to move up a weight class?
Oh, it can be like this, play out like this, like that. But like being a champion of 125, I welcome everyone.
There you go.
Yes, here you have to show but it's yeah, you can fight here, but you never will be the champion here because here it's I'm here forever for a long time.
How long do you see yourself fighting in terms of your career? Do you sort of have a timeline of how long you'd like to compete?
Much as I can, as much as my body and my mental health and saying like Valentina, you can do it, go.
Yeah.
And yeah, as long as I have it feeling, I will do it. And I would tell you that I didn't lost not a little bit of this feeling. And every year, I just feeling stronger and stronger, more technical, more sharper, and like more confident. And it's like getting better every single day, every single year. And this is the most important because I love to the lifestyle what I have.
And, again, not looking past Lauren, but Amanda Nunes was supposed to fight Juliana Pena. That fight's now been moved to December. If Nunes wins that fight, do you think we could finally see the trilogy? Do you think that could happen? Or is that something, again, you'll just revisit, later, maybe next year type thing?
Oh, speaking about Amanda, it's kind of like you never cannot say something sure about her.
Yeah, I said if. Yeah, just to be clear, Juliana can win that fight. Absolutely.
I mean, like about like yes, winner or like whatever. But I mean in general, because she's kind of like, oh, I want to fight this. Oh no, I want to fight that. Like kind of like, where's the wind blowing? She will turn the other way, like with the wind, going with the wind. And that's why, yeah, it's kind of like if it's happened, it's happened, and everyone will know it.
Okay, fair enough. Wanted to ask you about a couple other things. We had, a lot of talk last week, and I don't know if you caught the UFC card, but Khalil Roundtree, who actually trains in Vegas, he won his last fight with this side kick to the knee and injured his opponent, and he won the fight. And some people are suggesting that should be a move that could potentially be banned from MMA. What's your stance on the side kick? I was curious about that as someone who, relies primarily on striking.
To the knee, it's very dangerous kick. Yeah, it's kind of like very bad kick because it's injury. You have very bad injury from this one, this kick. And yeah, definitely, I don't know about yeah, probably yes, but in the same time, you just have to be ready. You just have to prepare. You cannot ban all kicks, right?
Mhm.
You cannot ban everything. Yeah, it's kind of like it's mixed martial arts. It's kind of like allowed, and probably it's kind of like it was not a kick right to the knee. It was kick to the thigh, like a little bit higher than knee, but then the kick just like slide down a little bit, and that's why it's happened like what happened. But yeah, definitely, I think most fighters they just have to think about it like it can happen,
Mhm.
and then it just start like train for this, to be ready for this happen.
Another bit of news that sort of came out last week or a couple of weeks ago is this talk about ring card girls. Khabib Nurmagomedov, made the suggestion that he's not going to be having ring card girls with his promotion. Do you think they're needed for MMA, or do you think that's something that they could look at and maybe take away from the sport? What's your stance on ring card girls?
No, it's never have to be taken from you from a mixed martial arts, because it's a huge part of any promotion. It's like, I don't know, if there is no ring girls, what it's like, men ring, or like
There is an
instead of
Invicta. Elias Theodoro's a ring boy in Invicta. I don't know if you knew that. He holds up the sign. So.
But I don't think that it's gonna be that attractive. You're gonna see beautiful women, like a woman going with a number of rounds, or like men with a round. Yeah, I don't think that it's so attractive against a beautiful woman, right? And it's kind of like, yeah, definitely. If we're gonna see something like straight for mixed martial arts, we don't need anything, right? We just need an opponent, maybe referee, maybe judges. We don't need fans, we don't need lights, we don't need sound, we don't need anything. But what the like promotion do, it's like creating all of this. And ring girls, it's part of it. They was since the beginning of UFC, they was since the beginning of everything. And like, to say that they don't belong to martial arts, it's so bad, it's so not right, because they are part. And it's kind of like, without all of this, any fighter would not be like in the position where he is right now. Would not be like ring girls, wouldn't be lights, fans, sounds. It's just boring. It's just boring to see this kind of type. But all these like little detail, they are fulfill the full picture. That's why there is no discussion. Ring girls, they are part of the biggest promotion, smallest promotion of anything. And yeah, this is like no further questions.
Yes. Okay. There you go. Good to hear. And then also, speaking of women, what did you think of Laura Sanko commentating Dana White's Contender Series? It seems like we might see her do UFC commentary as a female MMA champion. That must be pretty cool to see that we might have women commentating.
I think it's amazing, because Laura, she is doing so good job, and she's commentating so good. And actually, like, she know what she's doing because she was so deep in it. She was competing, she was fighting. So she kind of like know exactly what fighters feel and what they're thinking about the fight, what leading the fight, after the fight. So she was living it, like all this emotion from her inside. So I think it's amazing. And I'm every time like, I'm happy for women to reach like more and more like power, more position, and like, but it's not only because in the modern days we kind of like, okay, we are women, that's why we have like to have this one. No, we are not speaking about a woman and man. We are speaking about a person. And if person deserve the place where like she wanna be, he wants to be, just do it. Because like in martial arts, there is no like, yeah, female fighter or male fighter, but the technique, it's unique for everyone, and we are all just fighters. And it's like, we cannot divide. Yes, we definitely can divide, but in general we cannot. And this is what I really like looking for this like point as a right. If woman like smart enough, know everything, strong, confident, and know what she's doing, and exactly with like saying like everything correct and right and do it, she deserves this place. Not only because she's a woman, no, because she deserve it because of her knowledge. And this is, I am like, I would love to see this idea in the modern like female movement, right? Not because of we are women, we have to have this thing. No, because we are smart enough, the same as a like guys. We are strong enough, the same as like everyone. We are people. We are not want to have something only because we are women. No, because like we are like what we are doing, and we are good. We are in this.
Very well said. I agree, because she deserves it, because she's done a good job, not because of, like you were saying, it was, something that they want, a role they wanted to fill, which I think is really good. Just two more quick questions. I did an interview a couple weeks ago with Rafael Fiziev, or Fiziev. I know I've heard it pronounced both ways. You know who I'm talking about. He mentioned that you reffed one of his fights. Tell me about this story. He was mentioning that you were the referee for one of his fights.
Actually, Rafael, he is a student of my coach Pavel. He has student, and Rafael was student of this Pavel student. So yes, definitely, he is part of like Muay Thai Federation of Kyrgyzstan, and we know Rafael very good. Yeah, and it's everything was kind of like when. Then and like it was a lot of fights, a lot of competition, a lot of young fighters, and definitely it was a lot of like competition when I was a judge, referee, and yeah, it's kind of like many fighters in Kyrgyzstan I was refereeing when I was living over there, same as judges. Like
that's interesting. Yeah, because he's done quite well in the UFC. He actually has a big fight coming up here in a little bit. I don't know if you still keep in touch with him, but do you follow his career?
Of course, definitely yes, because he's like from the Kyrgyzstan, almost the same club.
Yeah, that's good. And can we see more fighters from that region, make a splash in MMA? It seems like there's been a lot of success.
I would tell you that the only we have my country Kyrgyzstan. We have so many good fighters, actually, like good level fighters, because in Kyrgyzstan. Mixed martial arts, it's not just a sport, it's we have university, and you have like physical university of physical culture. It was mixed martial arts. We have national style. It's named Kulatu, and it was developing it's starting in 90s, and every time all fighters, they are like sincere, they have a lot of competition inside. But we are speaking about Kyrgyzstan. It's too far from like for me. It took how many years to reach UFC? I had to win 17-time World Muay Thai Championship, kickboxing, Muay Thai, all combination before I stepped to and I have my debut in UFC back in 2015. But I think it was very important, because it's kind of like opening the door, and it's like to show to the world that I'm coming from a small country, Kyrgyzstan, and we have a lot of fighters that they are really bright, and they can show very good fights. We just they just need a little bit something, I don't know, to compete internationally more. And this is the only one thing. It's too far, but definitely if speaking about like fighters, there is so many fighters from Kyrgyzstan that they are completely like ready to fight in UFC right now, because they are on the level of UFC already. But I think it's a matter of time. Now we have how many fighters from Kyrgyzstan? We have me, we have my sister, we have Rafael, we have 3 fighters out of Kyrgyzstan, and it's started since 2015. But I think we're gonna have more and more, because they are all there. They're just waiting their moment.
And my last question before we get out of here, and again, I really appreciate the time. Will you be watching the Evander Holyfield and Vitor Belfort boxing fight tomorrow night?
Tomorrow I have my training tomorrow, and yeah, I will focus so much on my fight. But yes, I will try to look, because I think it's very epic fight. It's very great fight, very interesting fight, and definitely now I already started like in my brain to play the paper. I have to find this fight, and especially when I heard that Donald Trump gonna commentate in this fight, and definitely I have to watch it.
There you go. Valentina, thank you so much for the time. We're really looking forward to the fight. It is UFC 266, September 25th. Anything you want to plug, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention? I'll give you the last word.
Oh no, yeah, I just want to say thank you everyone to every time support me, and yeah, just like with all the powers that I got from all of you guys, we are gonna get it. We're gonna do the same, win the fight and hold the belt.